But what an absolute treat. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got part 3 of our waterfall series that we're doing throughout New England. And in this video, we're gonna visit 4 waterfalls in Western Maine that you can essentially drive to. All of these are park and more or less walk right to the falls. We are gonna be in the area where I grew up, so Western Maine. We're gonna start in West Paris and then head up towards Newry and Grafton Notch. All right, let's get started. Our first waterfall is Snow Falls in West Paris. All right, so we are at Snow Falls. Got the poodle with me on this adventure. Snow Falls, again, is right off Route 2 in West Paris. It's a great little rest area. There's picnic tables, so this is a family-friendly stop. This goes through a gorge. It's a 25-foot total drop, and the walls of the gorge are 30 feet high. So literally, I'm parked here, and you can see that's the gorge and the waterfall. We'll go get a closer look, but it's right here. So you can see, pretty busy road. So I've got Rogue on leash. But yeah, you've got a privy, picnic tables. Pretty neat. Rogue's in her new Tactipup harness. Not sponsored, but absolutely love their stuff. I've got all of their stuff for 3 of our dogs, so long-time user. Hey, let's go. This isn't going to be a problem given some of the other bridges you've been on. View from the bridge. Pretty neat spot, especially since you could park right there. Looks like there was an old mill or something here. Really easy trails to move around on. You got all these steps that people built. I do wish there was a placard or something talking about whatever was here before, because this is definitely a foundation for an old mill. Like you can see, the sluice starts here and goes down to that previous arch. Let's go over and check out the top of the falls. All right, I guess we'll head back. Again, the walk to the waterfall is negligible. You can see it from where you park. But still, worth a stop. This is an easy one to tick off and definitely worth a stop. Okay, back to the car. You know, if I looked hard enough, I'd find some sort of kiosk. But this is just a map of the area. It's not information about Snow Falls. It's weird. All right, so Snow Falls in the books. Done. Headed to Frenchman's Hole. It is a 55-minute drive from Snow Falls, and we're headed up to Newry by the Sunday River Ski Resort. I should have mentioned that because I grew up in this area, I've been to all of these falls, and I could have easily just checked them off. But I thought for the sake of this video, I should go ahead and redo all of them. So, got an hour drive ahead of me, gonna stop for gas along the way, and I'll see you when we get there. When I was growing up, Frenchman's Hole was kind of this protected spot that nobody would tell any of the tourists about. And now with the advent of the internet and travel books like the one I'm going through, it's out there. And there's actually signs to it. It used to be very hard to find, but now it's got signage. Way of the world. Way of the world. The road is closed. It's still spring, so a lot of roads get closed here in the state of Maine so that you don't damage them while everything's wet. So we're gonna park here, I don't know, maybe 3/10 of a mile from where I actually need to be. But in the summer, you can drive right to this. Or you used to be able to. Maybe you can now, I don't know. When I used to come here in high school, it was like 20 years ago. So we'll get the poodle out of the car and walk up the road. Come, Poods. Good girl. Rogue, you ready? Okay, let's go. I said 0.3 miles, but the GPS is actually showing 0.5 miles. So if you can't get through the gate, 1 mile round trip. She absolutely loves these hikes. Good girl. If you're not from the state of Maine, and specifically if you live out west, you might be thinking like, he just went past road close sign, he's trespassing, but Maine has very different laws around open access to property. Unless something is explicitly marked as no trespassing, no access, you can go onto it. That's a lot different than out west where you need permission and people are very, very particular about who they let on their land. In Maine, it's open access, and that's because for the longest time, most of the state was privately owned. We're one of the least densely populated states, and so when they were creating the laws, they wanted to make sure everybody had access to the forests. And so there's a tradition here of open access. You can post your land, as I was saying, and you can keep people off it if you want to, but generally people keep it open for snowmobiling and ATVing and hunting and access like this, which is great because it affords those of us that live here access to spectacular locations like this. And frankly, most of the waterfalls that are part of this series. So we're not there yet, but as we approach Frenchman's, this entire area is a big gorge, and there's waterfalls. Like, I don't know if you can see down in there, but there's a pool there with a pretty vertical wall. It's definitely a gorgeous place. Well, you can see why the road is closed. This whole area got washed out during the spring floods. Okay, so this has actually been expanded a lot since when I was growing up, but when the road is fixed, you can drive all the way up here, park over here, and then this is Frenchman's Hole. You see you got picnic tables here, no camping. Okay, let's get a hook on you. Rogue, come here. So here at Frenchman's, the swimming hole is up above the waterfall, which we'll go to in just a second. So you can see here, it's actually this stairwell down. And in the summer, this water is still cold. It's so refreshing to come here on an August day where it's really hot. Yeah, that's Frenchman's pool. Oh. Where we were to go swimming, and then there's a waterfall right here that we'll go take a look at. That is really deep for the pool. She completely slipped off this little bank here, which is why when we get close to water, I typically put her on leash because she's clumsy. All right, what do you say? You want to go look at the waterfall? Okay, so Frenchman's Hole waterfall is just below the swimming pool. Rogie, can you go down there? We'll go down there and check it out, and then we'll also walk around to the front side and check it out from that angle, but I'm gonna put her on leash again. Nice and gentle. You know, I never actually thought about this here while I was growing up. I always called that Frenchman's Pool. Now I'm wondering if it's that, but that's obviously not as good a swimming hole. So we would always come up here when we talked about Frenchman's. If anybody knows the answer to that, let me know. This is either going to be a really cool idea or a really bad idea. Won't know unless we try. How you doing, Rogie? I'm going to put you on a bit of a shorter leash here. Top of the waterfall. She did not like that. But this is pretty flippin' cool. Okay, we can head back. I know you don't like this. Come on. You got it. You got it. There you go. All right. Well, that was really cool going to the top of the falls, but there's this path here that we can walk down, and I think I'm gonna go down there to get a thumbnail for this video. All right, let's try this. Hey, don't. Okay. She wrapped me up there for a second. Hold on. Let's take a pause. I'm gonna try to walk down to this little ledge right here. But I don't really dare to get any closer than that tree with her. Nice and easy. Nice and easy, no pulling. There we go. Couldn't come hunting for waterfalls and then not stop and see this one. Hey, let's go back this way. All right, Frenchman's. A little bit more involved with the road being blocked off for a video that's supposed to be about ones you can just drive to, but still great. We've got a half a mile walk back to the car, and then we're headed up to Grafton Notch State Park for the last 2 waterfalls in this video. You ready to go to the next one? On to the next. Next up is Auger Falls, which is 30 minutes from Frenchman's Hole.
All the bad things can happen, and a lot of them are deep.
All right, so Auger Falls, right before Grafton Notch State Park, is normally a pretty busy location. There's normally a lot of people here, but it's before Memorial Day and it's a Friday. So we've had all these spots to ourselves, which has been an absolute pleasure. This, again, you can park. There's parking available, and there's picnic tables and picnic areas and privies. And you can have a nice, lovely day here. You can see here that the paths are actually maintained well enough that you can take wheelchairs and stuff down to the water. So, beautiful area. Little overview of Grafton Notch State Park here. There's a lot of hiking. The Appalachian Trail passes through Grafton Notch State Park. And there's actually a loop, a pretty famous loop that I have never done, but it takes like 2 or 3 days to do it. So maybe at some point I'll come back and do that. You can see the outline here. This is where we are, Auger Falls. All right, let's get the poodle out of the car. What do you think? Huh? What do you think? I'm gonna grab the leash just in case you try to get crazy. I should note that this is the first waterfall I've gone to where there's a parking fee. So $3 for Maine residents, $4 for non-residents. I already paid, but just made sure I noted that. We'll go this way. Still a lot of damage here, just like there was at Frenchman's Hole from all the spring runoff we had. It was a particularly bad year. A lot of rain came after, some snowfall, really washed a lot of areas out. But unlike most of the other waterfalls I've been to date, this one actually has really good signage. Unfortunately, not really gonna be able to get to these two due to the washout. But it's nice that this shows you the geology and how this was formed by glaciers. The crazy thing to think about in most of Maine, especially in Western Maine, is that above our heads used to be 10,000 feet of ice. It's crazy. So in the summer, before we get down to the falls, it's kind of a few different cascades. Yeah, you don't want to fall in that. And then the water goes over here and goes back down over the larger falls. So we'll walk around the bridge here and the side and take a look at that. See the start of the waterfall here. Hey, Rogue? Rogue? Why don't we put this on you just in case? All right, let's go take a look at the falls from this angle. It's pretty neat. All of this is water flow. Like, look at all the carved rocks. Very cool. So this is the second falls. And then we're gonna keep walking down there. First falls, second falls. And you can see goes down through another one. Gorge wall is pretty high, but we'll walk down to the bottom of that third falls. If you just keep walking, there's a pretty nice path, or there always has been. I haven't been here in a few years. Down to be able to get a good photo and kind of enjoy the view of that bottom falls. Here you go, good girl. Keep going, you got it. Hold on, hold up. There is a way here to get down, but it's very steep. If it was just me, I would do it, but there's no way she's getting down there. We'll go back, but we'll see if I can get a shot from over here. Well, you can kind of see up into the canyon for that last little drop, but not very well. All right, well, that's Auger Falls. Last waterfall for this video is Step Falls. Step Falls is just back down the road. We actually passed it on our way here, so We'll backtrack a little bit, but did that on purpose since we have to go back that way to go home. What an amazing day. Figured since I'm here, I would show you what's above the falls, where you can come and have a picnic with your family. So there's all these picnic tables, and then there's even some barbecues, and you've got all of these pools that you can come and hang out in. You can see that the little river here has a lot of cascades coming down, right? Like all the way up. But there's a lot of these pools that on a hot summer day feel great. Yeah, here's a good example. So come here with your family, bring some charcoal, have a nice barbecue right next to the river. All right, now on to Step Falls. Rogue hates being picked up, but she's almost 11 years old, I think 10 and a half years old, and she can't jump up into my car because it's lifted, so gotta help her, but she hates it. All right, so Step Falls is on land that is managed by the Mahoosuc Land Trust. There's a very clear path going up here, but it is worth noting to my earlier comments when we were at Frenchman's that people can post their property, and you can see here what these people have. So it's important to respect that. Otherwise, more people post and we lose more access. So get kitted up here. This actually is not right off the road. I mean, I consider it kind of right off the road. It's half a mile to the first falls and then 0.6 to the next falls. Step Falls overall has 250 feet of drop, which actually in totality makes it one of the tallest waterfalls in Maine. But again, it's a lot of small steps. It's not a, you know, like a glorious 250-foot drop. So we'll head up there, see what it looks like. I actually didn't have cell service to be able to put it into my phone to see the distance before, but Auger Falls, where we were just before this, is 1.6 miles to the north. So very quick trip down here. All right, looks like we're following the yellow markers. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it shows up in the video, but White Brook Step Falls was the first Maine preserve in 1962, so that's pretty interesting. Very well-maintained trail, even though frankly it's very early in the season, so I doubt anybody's gotten out here to do any maintenance. What are you gonna do? That works. Guessing that used to be an arrow, because there's a sign, don't keep going that way. So, oh yeah, there's the next yellow marker. You can see that when the water ran down, just like all the other ones, really impacted this area. Oh yeah, I hear a waterfall, huh? Huh. What do you think, Rogie? Pretty cool little waterfall here. But the trail continues, and so do we. In terms of hikeability, again, very well maintained. We definitely need to be sure-footed though, as there's rocks and roots throughout the whole hike. You could very easily slip or trip. You can see where it gets its name, right? Like it's not this huge waterfall. It's a bunch of small steps all the way down. All right, let's keep going. When I said I'd been here before, I think I was like 12. So I don't really have a memory of it. I just know I've been here before, but check this out. Very cool. I want to see if we can get up closer to that upper drop. Anytime we get close to cliffs like this, better safe than sorry. That's cool. There's still this upper part of the falls though I want to try to find. Once you get to the falls, it does get a little bit steeper, but still not bad. Okay, so this is really cool. So there's a pipe here, and it must have been for an old homestead that would get its water from the falls, and then through gravity would go down to the farmstead. It's pretty cool to see. I know most people won't think that's cool, but for an engineer, that's pretty rad. Oh man, the falls is right here. You almost got me. Sometimes she decides to take a different path. This trail is pretty cool because you actually kind of feel like you're in the waterfall. You see all the steps down here, and then even after that view, the path keeps going, so we're gonna keep going. Big step. Oh. You got it, Poods? Of course you do. Of course you do. This is probably her best test of mountain goat mode. You got it? Good girl. This trail just keeps getting better and better. At the start, I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of lame. It's just a lot of small drops, but this is stunning up here. Trail is pretty well washed out here. Not sure she's gonna be able to make that. If you wanna stay, you can stay for a sec, okay? Actually, there's a gate right there, so we can't go any higher than this. But what an absolute treat. All right, Poodle, you wanna go home? All right. Good girl. Man, she's actually way better at climbing over rocks than I thought she would be. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed all 4 of those waterfalls. If you wanna see where this adventure started, click here. I'll see you next time.